that path is not, or that road is not taken.
Mr. Fuller?
So what I'm asking, so specifically, Dr. Neely Fuller, I'm asking you, does this buffer between the African people and white supremacists with African people who take handouts from these white supremacists? Do you accept that there is this organization?
Okay, you're talking about, does he accept that the Boule exists as a buffer organization? Is that right, between white people and black people?
Sir.
Okay, Mr. Fuller.
Yes, sir. Not white people, not black people, African people.
Right, okay. Mr. Fuller.
My answer is I don't know. I have heard that there is, but the question I always ask myself, what do you do about it? And so the answer that I gave myself, because everything that I write is addressed to the individual, so I'm an individual. And so when people ask me what I think, I give them my individual evaluation. They can have their own. That's another thing. That's the magic of the code. I mean, people don't have to agree. They just go with what their own analysis, their own logic tells them. The logic that I go with is, I don't concern myself with what's that so-called boule. Every black person is a buffer, or can be made a buffer instantly if the white supremacist determines that he or she is going to be a buffer, because they have the power to do so. There were buffers on the plantation. I mean, and they weren't driving around in fancy cars, anything like that, but there were, like in the movie Gone with the Wind, the movie started off with a lesson that you can instantly learn, that I can instantly learn, rather, I already knew it, and that is, two black people were working in the field, and one of them looked up and said, "Quitting time," and the other one says, "Who says it's quitting time?" "I'm the foreman. I was the one that says quitting time." And so then he says, "Quitting time." And that's after the other black person that said quitting time. Now, you look at those two black people out there in the field in the hot sun, one of them saying quitting time, the other one saying quitting time, and the other one telling them, one telling the other, "You're not the one that's supposed to say quitting time. I'm the one supposed to say quitting time," and neither one of them are running anything. And that's a lesson in the movie Gone with the Wind, made in 1939. Now that says it all. That says it all about that buffer thing. It's something you don't have to worry about, because let's say, for instance, if there is 2,000 or 3,000 buffers and you exterminate them, the white supremacists will just make 4,000 more the next day. Now that's something that you learn in Godfather 1 and 2. Failure to learn that means you don't understand white supremacy and how powerful it is. They can make them faster than you can break them. They can make them faster than you can ever break them. I'm going to say it again. They can make them faster than you can ever break them. See, and many black people would like to argue with another black person about how to solve the system of white supremacy. One thing, I'm not saying that you're doing that, but that is a tendency. That's a tendency of most people, to always try to find the weakest thing in any structure. So it's easy for me as a black person at the bottom of the slave ship to accuse the other black person who's been given extra cornbread of being the problem.
Right.
See, and many black people would like to argue with another black person about how to solve the system of white supremacy. One thing, I'm not saying that you're doing that, but that is a tendency. That's a tendency of most people, to always try to find the weakest thing in any structure. So it's easy for me as a black person at the bottom of the slave ship to accuse the other black person who's been given being the problem.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I don't choose to do that.